Okay, so how would you describe your personal style?
So, I guess like in essence, it's like ever changing. You know what I mean? Because let's just say from like freshman year of college to now, it's gone from like tight jeans and big shirts to like grandma pants and like big jackets. So it's always changing. I can't really put a label on it. You know what I mean? That's a hard one.
What do you like mainly get influence from for your fashion? Like, is there one thing or a lot of things? Or
So, I guess when it comes to like people, a couple of people like Jaden Smith is definitely like a big, like person. Like since I've been like younger, I've always looked at Jaden Smith style, and I was like, I wouldn't wear a skirt, but I do like, how you're rocking it, just like the confidence. Because for a while, I couldn't really wear what I wanted to wear, because like where I'm from, like people are really like judgmental. So I'm like, I don't want to be like an outcast. I'm gonna just wear what everybody else wears. But once I got to college, it's like nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? So really, just like the confidence is, I guess, what influenced me. Just like you could do whatever you want to do with your style. So I'm like, why not just go crazy?
So where is it that you're from that there's that conservative like mentality?
East Chicago, and I went to high school in Gary, and I went to high school with, like I said, everybody either likes Jordans, Levi's, and like graphic T-shirts. So there's no diversity in the style, and there's no diversity in people. You know what I mean? So it's just like you got to fit in.
So do you think that's something that influenced you a lot later, like realizing that you can be different now?
Definitely. And it came out of nowhere, really. Like, I was in a summer program when I came to IU, like my freshman year, but like right before my freshman year, I was a summer program. And I just, out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? Like, I want to try something different. I don't know any of these people. They don't know me, so I can really just kind of like redefine my style and make it my own now. And that's what I did, like, the moment I got here.
Amazing. So for you, did you kind of like know all along internally that you didn't want to dress like the Levi's, the Jordans, like you're saying, like you wanted to be different, you wanted to stand out?
For a minute, no, because like for a while, I was like, I guess different, because I had really long hair when I was like in like 6th, 7th grade. Then I was like, I don't want to be different because I get looked at all the time. So I wanted to fit in for like a couple of years. Then I was like, this is boring. I want to like branch out. And then, like I said, it took a while, but I'd say around like my junior year of high school, and I realized this is not how I want to dress. And I was slowly transitioning out of that, you know what I mean? But it was like a really slow transition. So it took a while for me to realize I don't really want to be like in the norm when it comes to fashion.
So do you know anything about counterculture? And if you do, kind of like, what's your definition of it? Even if you don't know, you can just like make up a definition.
Okay, so I don't know, but I guess what I would like assume it is just going, I wouldn't say just against what your culture dictates, but just like maybe your thought processes and like the way you act and like your friend groups and your customs are just kind of like, I guess, taboo if they would be like looked at through your culture's lens. So say if I'm Mexican, but I'm not just Mexican. Say if like the Mexican side of my family, they see how I am. I'm not family oriented. I'm not very religious. I don't dress a certain kind of way all the time. So I guess that would be, what is it called? Counterculture? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I guess that would be considered counterculture in a way,
Yeah.
Maybe just like kind of directly going against like the norms.
Right. That like directly hits the nail on the head. Like counterculture, it started a lot more in like the 60s, like around like Vietnam War era and everything, like how there was so much protest with like people our age and that like politics really influenced going against what mass audiences were doing. And so fashion came into that with the fact that like you could kind of wear your politics, like hand making your clothes, or like how people wore jeans whenever they were kind of like almost against the law. Like it was so taboo to wear jeans. And so that's like where it came from. And so how do you kind of see that coming back up in our culture today with fashion?
Okay. Let's see. So it's always been a thing, in my opinion, kind of the whole like the older generations are looking at the younger generations to say like that's not how it should be, like you guys shouldn't be dressing like that, or it's too provocative, or it's too like non-professional, you know what I mean? So I think that's always been a thing, but I think it's definitely like how the gay community is more open now. People accept the gay community, people are really pro every race nowadays, you know what I mean? So it's everybody's really accepting now of practically everything. So fashion is definitely going to come into that and then play. So like people can really express themselves how they want to and feel like they're not going to be judged. And if they are judged, they know that's not how it should be. and a lot of people are going to have their backs for that, you know.
Exactly. Do you think, like, personally, any sort of, like, culture or politics affects the way that you dress?
Lucky for me, I guess I could say, like, in, like, my major, it's kind of, it's, like, not looked down upon to dress how you want to dress. So say if I go into, like, the Kelly School of Business or something like that, I always feel out of place because everybody's wearing suits and things like that. Not like dress clothes, but it's not really my thing. But I feel like when it comes to, like, the professional world, a lot of people kind of, like look down upon, like, people wearing clothes that show off tattoos and they're really open and stuff like that. And I don't really, like, want to find myself in a scenario where I have to be, like, put in a box where I have to dress a certain kind of way. So I guess just the professional world in general, like the, what would you call it, like corporate world. And then also a lot of, like, religious institutions look down upon, like, certain kinds of dress. Like my church back at home, again, I'm not very religious, but, like, when I do go home and go to church, they kind of look at me a certain kind of way when I come in dressed how I'm dressed. Sometimes, like, tight pants or, like, crop tops or something, and they look at me a certain kind of way, but I'm like, hey, like, it's just how it is, you know, you just got to get to it.
Right, kind of like they need to change.
Yeah.
The world is changing, like, you got to keep up.
All right.
So kind of going away from counterculture, in a general term, like, do you sort of follow trends, or do you kind of just, like, do whatever you want, wear whatever you want?
So when it comes to, like, things I see, like, in person, I definitely don't follow trends. Like, people I see on campus, I don't try to dress like people on campus. I don't want to wear khaki chinos and an IU shirt every day. So I definitely don't follow, like, campus trends or, like, just people I see on a regular basis. But when it comes to something, I guess maybe like Pinterest, I have, like, a lot of, like, different, like not looking at different fashion blogs, things like that. So there's certain things that I pick and choose, but I wouldn't really say I follow any certain kind of trends, you know? Like, sometimes, like, when I first saw, like, the whole, like, the fanny pack coming back, I was wearing that a little bit. Or, like, so I wouldn't really say so much trends, but more so, like, I pick and choose certain things from different, like, aspects of how people like skaters. You know, I like Dickies a lot. Skaters wear Dickies, but I don't wear, like, full skate clothes. You know what I mean? And, like, a lot of people wear crop tops, but that's not all I wear. So, like I said, I just, like, take certain aspects of certain things and just, like, make it into one outfit. You know?
Right, kind of like an overall theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So with that too, you're talking about, like, trends coming back around. And how do you think that we're seeing that right now? Like, what trends do you think are prominent now that we're, like, here, like, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever?
So one thing I always notice that we do is, like, I feel like when people try to say, oh, what's our, like, trend, you know, as a generation, I feel like one of the biggest things we do is just bring everything back. So, like, we bring 50s clothes back, 60s clothes back. Thrift shopping is really big right now. Like, people love to get older clothes. I personally do too. Vintage things. So I feel like that's, like, one of our biggest things is just bringing back other generation styles. I guess if I had to pick one specific thing, I would say, like, again, the fanny pack is pretty big. It's kind of dying out right now, but it was pretty big. Yeah, I mean, I guess just an overarching, like, bringing different eras back, you know?
So do you think that there's kind of a reason for that with our generation, that we don't have our own solid, like, style, that we're kind of, like, throwing it back to all of these different generations? Do you think that we're almost, like, running out of creativity, or do you think that we're just, like, kind of citing that back because we have, like, a nostalgia?
I think it's probably nostalgia, and I wouldn't say that we're kind of, like, running out of ideas. I just think it's more so, like, kind of how, like I said, we're, like, as a whole, our generation is very open, you know? And people feel like they can wear whatever they want to wear, so it's no bars held. You know, like, in the 60s, there was still certain standards you had to follow when it came to how you want to dress. 70s, same deal, 80s. But, like, nowadays, you can wear whatever you want to wear with no judgment. So people feel like, oh, I can go back to the 60s and pick this, and I'm not going to get looked at weird. You know what I mean? So it's just the fact that we can do a lot of things without worrying about being judged by other groups of people, you know?
Right. Would you agree that with trends, too, like, you don't necessarily have to follow them, like, it's really that overall, like, thematic and then trending out this. Like, with the themes that we have and the trends that we have, people aren't looked down upon if they're not wearing, like, the coolest thing. Like, they're almost, like, held up on a pedestal if they can rock things that aren't necessarily seen on trend, and they, like, make it look good, if that makes sense.
Definitely. And I feel like once you get out of, like, the high school mentality, then that's where you can really shine, because I feel like there's not a lot of confidence in people who are in high school because they're getting judged, like, by everybody, and they feel like they have to conform. But once you get out of that, like, for example, I don't want to, like, oh, like, toot my own horn, you know what I mean? But like a lot of people, they look at what I wear and they say, oh, like I would never think to wear that. That's really nice. I didn't even know he put that together. You know, it's not really, I'm really thinking about it. It's just kind of, I feel like this would look good on me. I feel like this will look good on me. I put it together and see if it works. And it does half the time, you know. So like people are definitely like, not praised, but just like, I feel like it's a good thing nowadays when people can like go out of their way and wear something that wouldn't really be in the norm. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I said, like Jaden Smith, like when he would wear, like when you wore a dress to prom, like that was definitely out of the norm. And some people, you know, some people were like, don't do that. But I'm like, no, man, that's nice. Like I would never think to do that. And it looked really good on him. He pulled it off. You know, it just takes the confidence to pull it off. You know.
Do you think it's almost too much of a glorification where people are trying to dress differently, or do you think that like there's still those people that are like naturally artsy and it just happens, or is it both?
It's definitely both. And I feel like you can really tell almost immediately, kind of like, not just by what they're wearing, but like their just overarching personality. You can kind of just tell if they're just a try-hard, like they're trying to look like they want to go out and they want people to say, oh, like they're dressing really different. I like that. You know, like there's definitely those people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it kind of takes away from the whole, like, this was planned, you know, I'm trying to get these compliments, compared to, oh, no, that's just what I like to wear, you know. So there's definitely people that just wear whatever they want to wear and it works and it's different. And there's those people who also wear things that are different, but because they want to be praised, you know. They do it just for the attention.
Definitely. That's